Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about how to create threads using the Posix na library. So if you remember from the last time, we have discussed about user level and also um, a kernel level na thread. This user na level na thread, we are using a library that is entirely used for user space with no kernel na support. So all of the data and the data structure of the code rather and the data structures for the library all exist in the user space. So in other words, the thread creation, the thread management are all done in user space. However, in the kernel library, these are threads rather that are directly managed by your operating system. Okay, let us discuss thread creation specifically for the POSIX threads, which provides either a user level or kernel level na threads and works for any operating systems like Unix, Linux, and also Mac OS na system. This is the general format or structure of a thread creation in POSIX. So we have int pthread underscore create, and it contains four na arguments. Okay, so this returns a thread na ID. So as you can see, it's int. That is a long positive integer that is created when a certain thread is of course created. Okay, so this returns a zero. The pthread na create, it returns a zero if the thread creation is successful. However, it returns a non-zero if there is a certain error. Okay, this thread na ID is unique and also it remains unchanged, but it may be reused when the thread is terminated. You can use the thread na get ID na method later in the examples that we are going to discuss. All right, so let us discuss the argument one by one. So the first one is the um, thread na ID. So as you can see, it is a pointer. So we have point p-thread underscore t asterisk thread. So it means that we have a pointer to a p-thread underscore t variable where the newly created threads identifier or the thread ID will be stored. So the calling function can use this thread na ID for operations later, like when we have to join threads or we have to cancel the threads. So we will see that more of that later. Okay. For the second argument, so it's const pthread underscore attr underscore t asterisk attr. This is on the other hand a pointer to the attr na structure or the attribute na structure. This specifies, as I said, from obvious naman, mga attributes like, like stack size or mga scheduling policy. So, things like that. We can specify it here. So, if we want to use the default na value, so we just have to pass null. Okay? And for the third na argument, it's the start na routine. So the start routine is the function that the thread will execute once it is created. So as you can see, it is of a void na pointer. So this is a function na pointer and uh, it is specifying ito kung anong function yung execute ng thread natin. From what you can see, bakit nga ba void siya at bakit siya pointer? So, bakit siya pointer na type? Well, the two main reasons is so it should be generic and it's also for a compatibility. So, we want na any function can be that we pass can be of any na return can be of any type naman. It could be an integer or it could be of type na structure or it could be float. Generic siya. And also it allows us to return values of any type. So the thread can return also an integer or a float or a struct or it's just a null kung wala kang need na i-return. Okay? So this is a standard for the POSIX na library. So we have a void na pointer and also void na pointer na return. Okay? So, meanwhile, for the fourth na argument, which is an arg, so it's a single na argument that may be passed to the start na routine. So it must be passed by reference as a pointer cast of type void. So why do we want na pointer ulit siya and also void. So similar na reason to the third na argument na for generic din siya and also for compatibility. So it allows us to pass any data type, so like integer or structure or array or any other na complex na data type. So also, if you remember from our topics from the last time, yung threads on the same na process environment, they are sharing memory. So if we work with pointers, so it allows threads to access the same na memory. Okay? And also, since ang void pointer can store any data type, so any na data type ang pwede nating i-pass. Okay? So, ayun lang. And how about for terminating threads? So there are ways on how we can terminate threads. So the first one is the thread just finished its work. So it normally returns from its starting routine. Okay, and then what about the p thread na exit? So if a thread makes a call to the p thread underscore exit method, whether its work is done or not. So dito explicit yung call ng p thread underscore exit. So this allows a certain thread to exit even before finishing all of its work. So, however, we must note that the other na threads in the process will keep on running even if we terminate one thread. So, what about the third one? We can make use the pthread underscore cancel. So pthread underscore cancel, it's used if a certain thread cancels another thread. So ang last one is using exec or ang exit. So in this case, if the main function returns if we do want to replace or wipe out ang buong process, then we can make use of this exec or exit rather. Okay. So just a few note, if the main finishes if the main function returns without calling ang pthread underscore exit, so the entire process and also all of the threads that are belonging to that process will be terminated immediately. So the worker threads do not get a chance to complete their work. So ayun lang. For the next na video, I'll be showing you an example. Okay.